about the Yamato versus Sardaco duel. I'm recommending, number one, we ban Petri. Petri should not be allowed. I think that kind of, well, one of two things. If we're going to allow Petri, we only allow one per duel. Because yes, Petri can be used strategically in a duel. Now, it's not like an instance where you can just Petri out of the duel. But you can use it strategically. There are uses of it. So if you're going to have Petri, one per duel, that's fine. But limit it. Because we don't want to sit here for 10 years just watching back-to-back Petris. And the other thing, limiting flasks. So Flask of the Titans, for example, I'm pretty sure you can use it to like infinitely heal your character. Which is then going to turn a duel into which one has more Flask of the Titans. Let's limit the flasks. Either ban them, or at least ban... Like, you're allowed to have Flask of the Titans, but ban reusing it over and over for the healing, or limit the amount of flasks per duel. Tyler has to make the executive decision on that. But those two things, aside from that, anything goes. We decided on anything goes, but, you know, even in, like, our official Mock Gra tournaments that have been hosted, like the Zico versus Snuts, they limited flasks in those duels. They also, I think, banned Petri, because they're just both so cringe and dumb. AFK stealth. That's the other rule, is Yamato is required, and I already told Tyler, and Tyler agreed on this on stream. Like any other duel format that's ever been done in any tournament, the rogue must open, once a rogue stealths, they must open or do something within 30 seconds. So if a rogue saps, or if Yamato saps Sardaco and starts eating, that's fine. That doesn't count. And then he re-stealths, 30 seconds starts again. Resaps, unstealths, keeps eating, that's fine. 30 seconds, resets again. So he can, you can re-stealth so much as a rogue. But the point is when the duel starts, Yamato can't just sit there and wait 10 minutes for every single CD to come back. 30 seconds is plenty. And that's usually, that's pretty sure that's how it's been with every single duel tournament. A lot of people were like, oh my god, that's griefing him so bad. Like, you guys, I know you're from League, but trust me, this is not a helping Sardaco. This is just how it's done. Unless y'all want to, we can just sit here with Yamato and stealth for 10 minutes every single duel. Yeah, that would suck. So 30 seconds per stealth. Petri needs to be limited to 1 per duel or banned. Flasks of the Titans need to be limited to where you can only have Flask of the Titans as a buff, or limit how many you can use per duel. Otherwise, it'll be spam infinite healing. It's not like you can buy them on the auction house. You're right. I mean, we could turn it into a which one of them farmed more Flask of the Titans. That's what the duel would turn into. It's just kind of boring. I'm not even going to watch the duel. I'll just know, oh, Sardaco has more. Duel's over. It's awful. So those two things, I think, should be limited. The rogue dual spec CD cooldown thing could be a massive factor. Am I talking shit? Rogue dual spec CD cooldown thing. What? What are you talking about? Are you talking about what's the cooldown reset bullshit? Prep? And spec swap? If you use prep and then you go to your other spec, is prep off CD? That's anything goes. That's so dumb. I'm baffled that's the case. I would think Blizzard wouldn't let you change specs when anything's on CD, personally. That's not the case? Okay, well, if it was, yeah, you can dual spec. Anything goes. The only things I'm going to put, like, it's all bullshit. Classic WoW, anything goes duels are bullshit. It's actually just a bunch of cheese. Yeah, there's a skill factor to it. Yeah, it's a knowledge gap and there's things to play around and there's a lot of prep, but the whole thing is cheese. It's a matter of, is that cheese fun? Flask of the Titan spamming is not fun cheese. Spamming Petri flasks is not fun. There's arguments that everything else isn't fun either. The game itself isn't that fun, but here we are. Anything goes. You can dual spec, yeah. I don't want to have a list of rules, just 2 things. Keep it simple. Also, is it a best of 5 or best of 9? Sardaco's asking. We said best of 5, right? Or should it be first to 5, like Tyler's and mine was? Mir said check whispers. Okay, hang on. Let me exit this character. Yeah, a lot of questions coming up at this point. I don't have any whispers from Mir. I'll ask Tyler. Also confirm best of 5 or first to 5. Again, questions for Tyler. The longer the duel goes on, the more in favor it goes to Sardaco. Because rogues are more of a cooldown dependent class than warriors are. To an extent. Warriors have, you know, they've got shield wall. So by making it first or best of 9, especially with Yamato trying to like stretch the duel out really far for his CDs, he could let Sardaco now get a second shield wall. Or a second whatever he ends up pressing, right? Not to mention Trinket, Last Stand is important as for Warrior, but it's slightly in favor of the Warrior, I think. Just keep that in mind. So it's not like we just make it best of 9. Like, no, there's cost to this. It helps Sardaco. Ban Alarm Bot. Alarm Bot's not usually banned. Slightly, more like very. When you're saying Yamato has to do something within 30 seconds of earning stealth and you're referring to sap, does that mean he can just sap and walk away while remaining in stealth? That would count as doing something. I gotta ask a rogue who's participated in any duel tourney, because that's usually the rule, but I'm not a rogue, so I haven't had to dissect the definition. I would imagine sapping is fine, but wouldn't sap eventually start to DR? Ban and / limit the amount of pots that remove poison? No. Oh, no. You could hypothetically sap forever. Ooh. The DR is 15 to 20 dynamic. Berserker Rage lasts for 10. Stealth rule is 30. Has it ever been abused in a duel tournament, though? Should I watch Perplexity versus Sony? What was their rule here?
Both of these guys are at the top line on him. There's no dots or anything. Playing defense, been playing for many years, as has Perp. Playing on the private servers and stuff for many years. Coming in.
Oh, Alarmobot breaks Perplexity stealth.
With the sap opening up, Sony has the Draconian Deflector out, playing defensive to start out in case he gets stun locked and trying to mitigate as much damage as possible.
Then the bleed goes on
with an intercept. Getting his bleeds up, getting kidney
shot. Let me let this duel end and see how they do the next one. Wait, no, I forgot. It's a mock garage. Oh, wait. You're right. There is no next one. Spaced out. Berserker fan, sellers. So how Perp abused it is he would cheap shot on top of sap without breaking sap and then run away and re-stealth. And then you're at least running at risk of sap heart beating. I mean, I think it can be abused in that case. Like, yeah. But I'm not, I gotta talk with another rogue and someone who, like, I don't want to just make a rule that's gonna fuck over Yamato and people think I'm just being biased. No, like, it's an anything goes for the most part. I just don't want a duel where we're sitting here for 20 minutes with nothing happening, not even the risk of anything happening. So at least sap able to heartbeat is kind of a big deal. Yeah, talk to Perp or someone. Ask Perp. Let me get in Discord and see if, like... Because I play a f***ing druid. So every duel tournament I've ever been in, I've never even had to... I can't be sapped, really. Like, I've never had to deal with fighting someone dealing with this or done it myself. It can be used, but it should be allowed. I'm just trying to assess the rules. Yamato. Yeah, no. I hear you. You're right. This should be figured out. You're totally right. Yo, Zico, are you there?
Yo, what the? I was watching your stream, bro. You scared the shit out of me.
Hey. Sorry, man. Are you aware of like the sap question or the stealth question for this duel?
I think sap plus cheap shot counts as something.
Yeah, so like that should count as resetting his stealth timer, right?
Yep.
Okay,
That should reset his stealth timer.
Okay, so he can absolutely abuse that. Okay, then we'll make
Oh
that
yeah,
the
he
thing.
100% can.
Okay, just making sure, because like I've never had to deal with this, so I just want it to be a fun, entertaining match. Not we're just waiting here for 20 minutes over and over. So he can basically sap, cheap shot, and re-stealth, and do this for his cooldowns to come back.
Yep, he can.
Okay, and there's the risk of sap heart beating.
Yeah, there is.
And also
but
there's the Zerker Rage play around too.
Yes, also that. But he can just pre-kite and get away to Narnia, where he can't. I guess he could get naded out. That's the only thing that like has enough range to take him out at that point. But that's it.
Okay.
It's extremely unlikely that he will be taken out if he does that.
Okay, so it's gonna be a really long ass fight, but you think it's good to let him do that?
I mean, if we're doing anything goes, then anything goes. Like my personal feelings about the rulings.
What about the Flask of the
different.
Titans and Petri?
I mean, we don't have Petri learned as a guild, so Petri's out of the question.
Okay, so Petri's banned, but you think Flask of the Titans should be spammable?
No, I don't. If you want my opinion, I think they should both have one Flask of the Titans.
I agree with that.
We could maybe even provide it for them so they don't have to, go out of their way to get it, just to make it fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I also personally think that the stealth rule, obviously it makes sense for a viewer experience, but the only counterplay to Alarmobot is to AFK in stealth for 10 minutes.
Okay, so you think Alarmobot is just awful?
I think Alarmobot... I mean, I was doing some testing with it, and it's straight up bugged.
In what way?
Like, if you're mounted, you can't attack it. And it has, like, two modes. It has one mode where, like, every 5 seconds, it does, like, a pulse. And you can wait for it to pulse and then open. But it also has a mode where it just kind of glitches out and just stands still. And if you just go anywhere near it, it will just insta-pulse and take you out. Like, it happened a couple of times when I was testing it with Vodka just
how long does Alarmobot last, and what's the cooldown? Like,
it's
give me the rundown of it.
It puts 1 minute cooldown on your nades when you pop it. It lasts for 10 minutes, and the Alarmobot itself has 10 minutes CD, so it's 100% uptime on it.
So basically, it's just constantly breaking stealth.
Yes, and it also has a really long range. Like if you're mounted,
should we ban Alarmobot?
I think he will be extremely unlikely to get openers if it's allowed. And I think that if it wasn't allowed to AFK in stealth, then I don't think it should be allowed to use it.
All right. So I told Tyler he can change these however he wants, but I'm gonna counsel him and tell him my opinion, your opinion, Zico. Let's remove Alarmobot. That's banned because you're right. The only counterplay is to actually just do the most boring cheap shot, run away. Like that is the counterplay, and it's boring, but that's what he would have to do. So we'll ban Alarmobot, but Yamato has to open, like the 30-second stealth rule is implemented. So they both have like kind of an annoying rule implemented. And then one Flask of the Titans. You just want to have one Flask of the Titans or just have it for the buff for 2 hours?
I think it should just be one flask. Because it will just turn into a popularity contest.
Yeah, and I think that's awful too.
If they can use as many.
Who farms more flasks? So Flask of the Titans will limit it to like they're allowed to have the buff, but they can't use it mid-duel. And then what was the other issue? Petri. We just banned Petri. No Petri.
Yeah, Petri is. I mean, we don't. It's not allowed in the guild, so they're still in the guild when they're playing, right?
Okay. All right. So we'll make
and
those.
Same thing goes for Oni.
All right. So for what?
For Oni world buff.
Oh yeah, no Onyxia buff. Yeah, of course. So
since it's guild banned.
Okay. I think those are fair rules. So the rogue is going to get his opener, which honestly he should. In any like duel where it's not anything goes, usually the rogue's always getting the opener. Just completely taking away is dumb. And the counterplay is even more dumb. All right. Yeah. I'll tell Tyler that, and he'll make the final decision. But yeah. All right. GG's.